I just want a slight disclaimer before we go any further that if you didn't watch my last video, I've literally just 2 days ago had my eyebrows microbladed. So if you're wondering why, 1, they're quite hot and intense right now. 2, they're very, very shiny. And 3, there's no makeup anywhere near the vicinity of my eyebrows. That's why, just so you know. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. Mine has literally just fell through my letterbox and I was so excited. I wanted to jump straight on, try it out, share with you my first impressions and all of the info. So here we go. So first off, Charlotte Tilbury, if you haven't bought anything from her before, is a very high-end, luxurious brand. For me, the sort of prices kind of vary with her stuff. So, for example, I have her Filmstar Bronze and Glow kit, which is the bronzer and highlighting kit, and this was £49, which is really expensive. However, then I also have, I've had samples of her foundations before, but I haven't purchased them, but they are £30 and £32, which is then much more sort of mid-range, more reasonable for a high-end brand price. And then her sort of face and cheek palettes are again like £49, which is then very expensive again. But then I also have her primer, which was £38, but it's a large size. So again, that's more sort of mid-range for a high-end brand, if you see what I'm trying to say. So this is £29 and you get 12 mils or 0.41 fluid ounces, which to me is a lot of product for your money. It comes in 2 shades. This is the lighter shade, which is fair to medium, and the deeper shade is for the medium to deep skin tones. And then there's, I believe, 1 highlighter shade, I believe. So to give you some comparisons, it's hard to find a direct comparison because all the other sort of contoury type sticks and products are like either a stick or a pan form, so they are like a solid weight, so it's kind of hard to compare. But mils and grams are like 1 for 1 as far as the conversion is concerned. So the MAC stick that I use, which is the concealer stick that is my current sort of go-to, that you get 8 grams for £16. The Hoola contour stick from Benefit, you get 8.5 grams, and that is £23. And the iconic London foundation or pigment stick that a lot of people are using at the moment is 8 grams for £24.99. So I feel like you get a lot of product in here, but as it's a liquid, it's kind of hard to directly compare it to the sticks. But to me, this is a lot of product. I mean, it's nearly half what you get in like a standard foundation. Because a foundation is like 30 mils, right? And 1 fluid ounce. And this is 0.41 fluid ounce. So it is literally nearly half a foundation. So it should, in theory, last you a very long time, which then obviously makes it a better, more investment type of purchase. The other thing I want to tell you about Charlotte Tilbury or purchasing from her is that I always purchase my Charlotte Tilbury products directly from her website. And this is the reason why. This is the packaging that you get with Charlotte Tilbury. So this is just a sort of cardboard box, plain on the outside, and then you open it up. It's obviously got her brand name just here. You get this envelope, which literally looks like you've been invited to the palace or something, which is just literally your receipt. And this beautiful burgundy, maybe tissue paper, and then you get all your products in here. The amount of samples that she sends you is off the scale. So you always can choose 2 samples, and so I chose to try both of her foundations, and you get to choose your exact shade. It's not like a potluck or they just send you a middle of the range shade. You literally get to choose your shades. So I got 1 each to try both of her foundations, so I can try those out for you guys in a future video. You then get a mini perfume, and all of these are lip testers. So it's just crazy. You can also get a sample of her concealer, or you could get a sample of her Primer, there are lots of options to choose from. I think that's amazing, and so few brands actually really sample that well. So yeah, these are all like single use. I've used these before. They're sort of like a little card inside with some of the lipstick on, and you just literally like press your lips onto it, and it gives you a decent amount of lipstick. Obviously you can't reapply, but you could take another one with you. I mean, there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 samples of lipstick, plus the perfume, plus the 2 samples that I chose. I mean, that is a pretty good deal, right? Okay, but now for the item that I'd actually paid for. So it comes in this little box right here. It has instructions on the back and all that good stuff. It says it has a 12-month shelf life. If that's important to you, it's not to me. I'll use it until it starts going moldy. Oh, I mean, look at this. That is so beautiful. It's like this sort of maybe rose gold but slightly bronzier kind of shade to it. It's gorgeous, beautiful. It also has the instructions on the back of here as well, so that's good because I'll obviously throw this away now. So what it says is twist to open, gently squeeze to release the product, twist close, then apply. So there we go. So inside it has this like sponge tip applicator, which I guess for some people might be an issue because I know some people worry about like hygiene because obviously it'd be really hard to clean that. But yeah, again, doesn't bother me. But you could sort of, it's a bit like the Maybelline concealer. I've seen some people cut that off and just, you know, put it onto a brush instead if you're funny about these sponges. Okay, so it says to twist to open it. Okay, so you just sort of twist this and it sort of slightly pops up, and then I guess you just squeeze it until it comes out. Now, I have never used this before, and I know that Charlotte Tilbury was selling like a double-ended brush specifically to work with this and the highlight sticks, but that was, you know, like 30 odd pound, and I didn't feel I needed it. So I'm going to use half of my face. I'm going to use my Morphe G3, which is the brush that I always use for sort of cream contours, and then I'm going to use the other side with my beauty blender, because that's kind of the 2 methods that I've seen people do liquid or cream contouring with. The usual stick that I use from MAC, the concealer stick, is much better with this because it's just, it works better buffing it in. You need to put a bit of work in. But then I've seen lots of people using the sponge with the hula stick. So I'm not sure what is going to go better with this, so we will see. So, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm just giving it a little squeeze. I guess maybe I should have shook it. I didn't say to. Just going to give it a little squeeze. Nothing is happening. Oh, it's happening. You can just see it coming through there. So, I mean, I'm so scared. Just, okay. There it is. There it is. I mean, that is some pigment. Look at that. Oh, it smells beautiful. It's like, almost like chocolate. Whew, that smells nice. It smells nice. Okay, so that's really good because I'm kind of able to do a bit of a bigger amount up there, which is nice. It's not also sort of like not pouring out, so I'm not like feeling like I'm wasting loads either. It's giving me the perfect amount of product. I think that first stripe might cause me some problems. Okay, just so you know, guys, I don't contour my jawline because I just can't do it. I feel like whenever I contour down here, it just looks like I've used the wrong foundation and gives me a problem. So I'm just going to leave that alone. But I will do the sides of my nose just lightly, just for those who want to know. Again, I would usually just use a powder for this because I'm awful at it. But that is a really, I don't know if you can see, this sponge has a really nice little edge that is like perfect if you want to sort of go on the side for the sort of smaller areas, but then you can also just use the flat side for your bigger areas. So that's really good. Just going to do this lightly down the nose, and already that colour is perfect. So my skin, I'm currently using, wearing Punjab by Nars Sheer Glow foundation. So that is the shade that I've got on right now. It's slightly, just a slight tint too light for my body. So I'm kind of saying I'm about an NC30 right now. And this is definitely the better shade. If I'd gone darker, it would have been crazy. The deeper shade also looks much warmer, whereas this one is looking really nice and cool toned. So let's get going. Okay. I mean, it's blending so easy. Just FYI, I don't have any powder on my face. I've literally just done my foundation and concealer, and I set my under eye with powder, but I haven't got any powder on my face. I mean, that was so easy. And then I just always put the excess there because I find that I can just about cope with that. I mean, this is taking seconds. This is very much comparable to like how long it takes me with my MAC concealer stick to sort of buff in. Way quicker than lots of like the foundation stick foundations that you see people use that take a really long amount of time to buff in. That's just lovely, really natural as well. That's blended in so nicely and seamlessly. And it hasn't sort of traveled too far. I do find with my MAC stick that it does end up much lower, much higher in my sort of blending it out process. That is just, I mean, that is amazing. So I'm going to try the other side with my sponge to see if that is any better, any easier or harder. I find this a real struggle with my MAC stick. It just doesn't blend anywhere if I use the sponge. It's just, I could be here all day and it wouldn't be gone. Okay, so that is blending with the sponge much better than my MAC concealer does, but it is going to take more work. I guess the difference with the sponge is that the product stays where you've put it but blends in, whereas with the brush you have to sort of blend it out. So like here you can see that I've blended it up to get it more of a blended look. You have to sort of blend and move the product, disperse the product a bit. Whereas with the sponge, you're keeping that initial line that you drew, but just sort of making it a bit more subtle. So let's try it here. So this is definitely more work with a sponge, much quicker with the brush, but like I said, you're keeping the sort of real definition with the sponge and the real placement with the sponge and just blending it in. So it's gone really, really easily on my forehead, really quickly. And it's definitely blending on this side. It just takes that little bit more time than the brush. I'm definitely going to say I prefer the brush side just on personal preference because it was just quicker. And I don't mind it sort of moving up a little bit because it's just going to blend in with your bronzer. I haven't got any bronzer or anything else on right now. I feel like that took so little product as well. You can see that this side, I just feel like because you can just sort of buff it, it doesn't take away, whereas this has definitely made it much more subtle, much more natural on this side, whereas this side it's kept a lot more of the pigment but just sort of looks more blended. So just going to build up this side a little bit more to match the other side and just to see how it builds. I will say if you're worried about the scent, once it's kind of on your skin, you've got it out the tube, I'm not noticing it at all. Can't smell it at all now that I'm putting it on. It's just when you're sort of squeezing it out when I smelt it, but it smells beautiful. But I know some people don't like sort of any scents, do they? So, but I think you'd be absolutely fine with this because it isn't smelling now that I'm sort of using it and blending it and putting it on my skin. Blended really easy on my nose, giving it that really subtle because I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not phenomenally skilled when it comes to nose contour. So a lot of the time I just don't bother because it just never looks natural. It just looks like I've drawn an 11 down my nose. So I skip it a lot of the time, but this, I feel like it's just given that little bit of definition without it being tricky, without it looking like I've contoured my nose. There you have it. I am going to stop blending like here, even though it's not perfectly blended, because I am going to go in with bronzer and I don't want to sort of make it too blend it away kind of thing. So I'm just going to go in now with my bronzer, because that will give me enough of a blend, I feel like, without taking the product completely away. Okay, so that is the rest of my makeup on. I went in with my Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow set and did my bronze and highlight with that. And then I used my MAC Warm Soul blush. This is amazing. I mean, I do like to take a good 5 or 6 uses of something before I'm like committed to this being like my holy grail, but I massively prefer it to my MAC concealer stick because of the shade is just much more perfect for contour. It's cool, but it's not grey or muddy. It's the perfect applicator size. I even managed to contour my nose and it looked pretty good and completely seamless and natural. It blended in like a dream. It blends both with my G3 and my beauty blender. Neither was an issue. Personal preference was my brush, but that's just me personally. Smells amazing. I find it pretty good value for money for the amount of product that is in here and the small tiny amount that I used for this. So yeah, for me, it's an absolute winner. It just looks so beautiful, so natural, but really feel like really beautifully contoured. I think that's the thing, if you don't know about like Charlotte Tilbury, her brand, everything is so classic and it's really focused on like natural beauty and bringing out your natural features and just beautifying what you have within you. So that's kind of what her products, you know, she doesn't have sort of crazy, really modern, really out there colors. Everything is really old school, beautiful glamour. So that's kind of what this is. It really fits with that for me. This is the perfect shade. Definitely if you're my skin tone, or maybe even up to like an NC35, I would go with the fair to medium. Any deeper skin tone than that, then obviously go for the medium to deep. I will say have a look on her website because she's got amazing photos and videos of it being used, so if you're not sure, but for me it looks like the deeper shade is warmer than this one is the perfect contour colour for me and my skin tone, so have a look just on that basis. But you can see when I put it on, you could definitely be slightly deeper to skin tones than myself and it still work for you. And I think again, if you are lighter than me, just go with a bit of a lighter hand and also maybe use the sponge, because that sort of blended it like more subtly than the brush, kind of left more of the pigment there. So if you are really fair skinned, I think this could still really work for you. It's beautiful, absolute win for me. But yeah, as usual, I will keep checking in and letting you know how it lasted, how I like it in a few weeks time. I will just say that I took my bronzer and I purposely wasn't careful. I purposely just went in with my 135 and rubbed, and it hasn't moved. I suspect this is like a liquid to powder formula because it literally did not move, didn't have any issues. It hasn't moved anything. Nothing funny has happened. It hasn't sort of, clogged up like sometimes things do when you put a powder over the top of a liquid or a cream. Nothing funny has happened at all. It still looks absolutely perfect and it still is exactly where I placed it. So yes, absolute thumbs up winner for me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe so we can see each other again. Otherwise, I hope to see you next time in a future video. Take care for now. Bye 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 bye.